I had never been in a serious long-term relationship until I was 28. I am 34 now, and that first relationship is my now marriage. So throughout all of my 20s, I was always the single one in my friends group, and although I did date, things never seemed to last more than a few months, and the majority of the time, it was not my decision. So if you're in your 20s and you've never been in a relationship and it feels like you're never gonna be in one, I've been there. And now that I'm on the other side, I wanna share some things that I learned along the way, or in retrospect, wish I knew at the time that would have helped me through that time of being single and would have helped me actually find the right person. When I graduated university, there was immediate pressure from my immigrant mom to find a boyfriend. I'm not exaggerating when I say that there was a time where the subject was brought up every day in some way, shape, or form. And although I did really want to be in a relationship myself, that added pressure really just made it such a top priority and such a focus in my life that I think set me up with the wrong mindset. I also had an anxious attachment style, which means that I crave attention, support, and intimacy, and have a fear of abandonment and rejection. If you don't know what your attachment style is, that's a great place to start. I highly recommend that you find out. I'll put a link in the description to a book called Attached that explains the different styles and helps you figure out what yours is. Knowing this will better help you understand why you feel the way you feel and why you act in certain ways through dating, and also why other people act in certain ways towards you, because anxious and avoidant attachment styles tend to be drawn towards each other. So my anxious attachment, coupled with my deep desire to be in a relationship, definitely made me feel a sense of desperation when dating, like this has got to work out. And desperation is not hot. So I know this is easier said than done, but do not take on the pressure of anyone, your parents, your relatives, your friends. Don't take on anyone's pressure to be in a relationship, and don't pressure yourself. My mentality going into dating was always that I want to find a boyfriend, and that was my goal. But honestly, an immediate goal before that should have just been I want to date for experience. And when I say date for experience, that truly means like date all sorts of people, even people that you don't necessarily think you would immediately have a connection with. Unless your gut is telling you a hard hell no, just kind of simmer in it for a bit so that you can actually pinpoint maybe what it is that you do or don't like about these people. I feel like guys are really good at this. A lot of them just kind of date around, and I guess women just want to have that sense of security and we want that intimacy. So we really do just want to find someone to be in a relationship with. But when you've never been in a relationship before, you really do have to play the field. You want to date different types of people to really see what type of person will work for you. You'll see how you act and you change around different types of people, which is a really important signal. Based on whatever attachment style that person has, they're going to kind of bring out different things in you. And if someone's avoidance tends to make you feel a lot more anxious in the beginning, that's not a good sign. There are lots of people that I dated that I thought were such a good fit for me, especially coming from an anxious attachment style. You kind of feel like you always want the thing to work out with that person without even really considering if that person is the best fit for you. When you come from a place of not having a lot of dating experience, I feel like it made me feel that every person I dated was a precious thing. I always wanted to be liked, so much so that I think I didn't even make it as much of a priority to analyze how much I really like the person that I'm dating. Those early butterflies and good feelies can only go so far. It truly takes time and witnessing each other in different experiences to evaluate if someone is the right person for you. So even though the end goal is to find someone to be in a relationship with, you can't really do that without dating around. I know it can feel like a big gap, a big void when everyone around you is getting into relationships and getting married and you don't even have a boyfriend yet. But as cliche as this advice is, when you're single, that is the best time to simply work on yourself. At the end of the day, your most important relationship is with yourself. And if you don't get to know yourself, you're not even really gonna know what you want in a relationship. Through pursuing your hobbies and working on yourself, naturally that's gonna open you up to opportunities to meet people. And the more people you meet and the more connections you have, the more you'll also realize like the world is a big place. One thing I wish I did when I was single was solo travel. I think solo travel just really helps build that relationship with yourself because you are only with yourself and you only have yourself. It builds your confidence as you're able to navigate through different places on your own, and it shows you how big the world is. The more you open yourself up to opportunities, the more chances you have at meeting new people. Throughout my time of being single, I definitely was trying to work on myself. I think it was somewhat of a red flag to me that most of the guys that I dated didn't end up following through with anything serious. Honestly, a lot of those were not the right fit, but you do still have to look at yourself and honestly ask, what can I improve to also improve my chances of finding someone? One of the things that definitely set me back due to lack of experience was emotional immaturity. Growing emotionally really truly does happen after you've been in a relationship, but there's a lot of work you can do to set yourself up to be in the best possible place to find the best person. If I could go back in time, I probably would have started therapy sooner because therapy really helped me get to know myself better. And honestly, when you're kind of late in the relationship game and you don't have that emotional maturity, it becomes more difficult to process your emotions when you have those firsts that maybe the other person has already gone through. If you never look inward, you're always going to be seeking external validation, which is how you can get into situations where you want guys to like you when you don't even really like them. So while you're single, really focus on yourself, pursue your hobbies, build your confidence, and don't get into that trap of looking for male validation to be the thing that makes you feel good about yourself. My entire dating saga was through dating apps, and it was difficult then, and I can only imagine how difficult it is now. I feel like the apps have really created this false impression for people that the grass is always greener, and if things get difficult with this person and don't work out, then I can always find someone who's better. At the end of the day, nobody is perfect. I think sometimes you also have to ask yourself, are my expectations aligned to what I have to offer? Am I expecting more from someone than what I have to give? And again, this doesn't mean to settle, but it means to be realistic and to make sure that during this time, you're working on being the best version of yourself. I am definitely not saying ignore red flags and settle. Settling is not going to make you happy, so don't trick yourself if you truly don't feel a connection with someone. But also remember that nobody is perfect, and they're gonna have shit and you're gonna have shit. You just have to figure out, are you both working through your shit? And can you work through it together? My good friend always gave me this analogy that you can make a good soup with a variety of ingredients. You just have to figure out which ingredients you like and which soup you like. That's what dating is like. Trust me, it's not a bad thing to not be in a relationship through your younger years and through your 20s. This comes back to emotional immaturity and not really having a sense of self when you're young. When you have bad dating experiences early on, they can really imprint you and actually make it much more difficult for you to date later on. And having witnessed a few friends go through that, I'm actually pretty thankful that I didn't get into a relationship until I was in my late 20s and had a much stronger sense of self. By that age, I had standards and knew what I would and wouldn't accept, which made it easier to filter out certain people. When I was actively dating, I was always taking advice from friends, and honestly, that's something that I would say not to do. Just because your friend has been in a relationship, unless it's a relationship that you think is very healthy and that you admire, relationship experience does not equate to healthy and secure relationship. As I mentioned before, sometimes early relationships can really have a negative impact on people, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they've learned and grown from it. It's natural. You're gonna wanna tell your girlfriends things and you're gonna wanna get advice, but just take it with a grain of salt. And at the end of the day, you always have to just listen to your gut. There's gonna be shit that you do that you probably regret. There's a lot of shit that I did that I regret, But honestly, it was all a learning experience. And for you to learn and grow from dating to then be in a place where you can be in a healthy relationship, you really just have to go through all that shit yourself. But if you focus on yourself rather than finding someone, you'll find that people are naturally more attracted to you anyway. Because you don't need to be in a relationship, you want to be in a relationship. And being with someone should really be a supplement to your life. It shouldn't be that they're filling a gap or a void. If you feel that, you really need to fill that in yourself first. It goes back to this cliche advice of you can't love someone until you love yourself. Building that is really important for feeling a sense of independence and self-worth so that you're able to walk away from situations that aren't healthy for you. Using this time to become the best version of yourself is actually what will help you find the right person. The older you get, the more you know yourself, and the more you know yourself, the more you'll know if someone is right for you. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with never having had been in a relationship. Everyone is on their own timeline, and this whole idea of you should have been done these certain things by this age, it's truly an antiquated way of thinking, especially now that there are more opportunities than ever. It'll happen when it happens, so for now, focus on yourself, don't take dating too seriously, and experiment. Trust me, you will not regret having this time to figure out who you are and what you want. I hope this helped make you feel better and make you feel like you're not alone and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. I truly know that it's difficult being that last single person, but letting that get to you is only going to feed into desperation and making bad dating choices. So take your time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being single. But if it's something you want, it's something that you do have to be open to. So give yourself opportunities to meet people, to go on dates. Don't make it your main focus, but don't shy away from it either. I had a lot of bad dates before I had good ones, so it's all part of the process. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!